Hello everybody, and welcome to the 6th and final round of the Vtracc challenge, brought to you by tracc.eu and powered by the Simgrid. We are here at the Kialami, what's the official name? Kialami circuit? I don't know, but we're here in South Africa for the South African V-Prix, where we will see how the Vtracc challenge championship will end. We already have a few conclusions at the moment for for both the pro and the silver class. For pro, it is Lucas Lichten who will take the honors, as well as in silver we have Jordan Brunch, who's not here today, doesn't need to be, who will take those honors. But in AM, the title is still up for grabs, as we will go into qualifying shortly. But before we do so, my introduction: I am Ruby Nekomata. I'm also a VTuber, but next to me is not a VTuber, but a sim racer rather, for Queen Design. April Carlsward. Say hello, April.
Hello everybody, thank you for having me. Yes, we are just getting ready for qualifying now. Drivers all just heading out on their outlaps now. Usual format of a 1 hour race with a mandatory pit stop, and plenty of drivers in AM right now who have a score to settle. Should be a good show.
So returning after quite a hiatus from Vtracc Challenge, returns actually in a rather interesting vehicle for him. It's a Lamborghini, so hopefully he's able to get used to it here. He's the first car out on a track, followed by, I believe that is, yes, Ryoma Kirihara for the Technoburst Racing VTuber entrant, or Vtracc entrant, I should say. Right behind him is the number 69 car of Asa the Nyanpire, and behind her, I believe it is one of the drivers that is in contention for the AM title still, the Solar Vtracc, who is fighting with Zul Akihara. Right there, you can see on your screen now. They're fighting for the title honors at AM, so it's something to keep an eye on today. Zul Akihara might have a bigger gap due to his previous result at Paul Ricard, but as I said before, I believe the battle is still on.
It is, and bear in mind as well, both these drivers have a DNF this season, so the points they have right now and the points they walk away from today, it's all going to count, it's all going to add up quite neatly. Hopefully we'll be able to figure it out as we go. We haven't got that excuse. But yeah, we've got Zul Akihara in the lead right now with 102 points, Solar Vtracc in second with 84 points, an 18-point difference. Not easy, but definitely not impossible.
Especially with the amount of AM drivers we have in the grid today, Solar Vtracc might still have a chance here. I mean, you definitely have to be very careful here. I mean, Zul Akihara could probably clinch it with a podium, I believe, but he can't afford to make any mistakes here. As you see, Reska Kyosto is about to cross the line to start his first lap of the qualifying session, 20 minutes long as usual. Track conditions are optimum, 25 degrees ambient, 26 degrees track.
Yeah, it doesn't really get much better than that, does it?
Indeed. Here goes Reska Kyosto into the first sector, going around this tight left-hander, very technical and yet flowing circuit. A bit of both here at Kialami.
It really is. You really need to combine everything. You need like a good performance for the more aero-heavy corners, like this one we're watching Reska going around right now, and the one immediate after it really emphasizes mechanical grip. Big step on the brakes, and then turning in through this very slow corner, and quite an awkward chicane coming up as well. Yeah, there's a mix of everything, and you need a car that can just do it all. So for Reska, hopefully that's exactly what he's got.
He's doing all the track that he can. Ooh, going over that curb a little bit, but didn't upset the car too much. Now this hairpin really tight and really difficult to judge where you need to brake and where you need to turn. It's super blind, but it looks like Reska got around it, no problem.
We'll see how that one goes during the race as well, because of course with it being a blind corner, you can't really see what cars in front of you are doing it super well, so it's quite easy to get caught out by on-track incidents or something like that there.
Here's probably
right through there.
Here's the most treacherous part of the circuit. Cheetah, you can definitely have your race ended right here, thanks to that yellow sausage curb on the inside. Now coming around the final corner, let's see what Reska Kyoso is going to put up on the timing board. It's going to be a, through across the line, 142.785, so already a pretty good lap for his first flying lap here in the session.
Definitely get off to a good start. I think Cheetah's going to be a good corner to keep an eye on as well. I think I've always given the advice to drivers to not fear it in practice, only in qualifying and race. So I'm curious to see how close people actually get, who starts playing chicken with it, and who just decides to play it safe.
Isaac Umbras has taken the top spot away from Isaac Umbras for now, but Isaac Umbras just has to get around this slower car. Solaire Drewcock, so hasn't posted lap time yet. Has got around her, but I don't know how much that's going to affect his lap time. We're gonna see here. We can keep an eye on Isaac Umbras, who has had some great pace throughout the season. Ooh, Solaire Drewcock nearly going off wide into the wall, but is able to keep that Mustang in her grasps. Yes, Isaac Umbras I saw in practice had a really good pace here, but it's going to be a question whether he can actually topple Lucas Lichten.
It is. Of course, although it's not for points in the championship, it's still for the bragging rights. It's still, to go into the next season showing what you can do.
I do believe that second place is still up for grabs in the championship for Pro.
Oh, is it?
I would need to check. I didn't take notes until before today, unfortunately, but...
Yes, oh no, you're absolutely right. Yes, it is. It is still up for grabs. Looks like Kirihara, Isaac Umbras, and Psycho Kaiser all in the running for it right now.
I do believe that Isaac Umbras really needs to outperform Kirihara, and Kirihara really needs to have a bad day, but it's possible.
Yeah, for sure. I think the one to watch in that is going to be Psycho Kaiser as well, because of course it's dropped scores in this championship. Psycho Kaiser drops a score of 0, so stands to gain the most in this race. Whereas everybody else, their gains in this race could be offset by losing points from another race.
So as Isaac Umbras crosses the line, this spot's not going to be an improvement. Let's take a look back at Psycho Kaiser. Another driver's in contention for second place, going through Cheetah. Wow! Clipped the inside curve by a lot, and it was set in the air flying. That is what can happen at Cheetah if you're not careful.
Yeah, this is danger. But at the same time, the closer you can get without that happening, it makes such a huge difference to the speed you can carry through that corner. So you do have to take that chance, scary as it is.
DJ Overdrive coming across the line now puts himself second in the AM standings. Zul Akihara is on pole for the AM class at the moment with the 144.177. I want to say about maybe 3 seconds ahead of Solaire Drewcock at the moment, but Solaire Drewcock still is on a flying lap, but she does have a faster car of Dirty Kohai behind, so we'll see what happens here, if she's going to abort the lap, or if Dirty Kohai is just going to slow down, because Dirty Kohai is on a slower lap. Looks like I think he is going to slow down a little bit more, so looks like Solaire Drewcock can do her lap uncontested.
Yeah, it definitely looked like Solar had no intention of slowing down there, didn't it? We can see our delta is also quite high right now, so it looks like maybe something went wrong on the last lap, although it was valid, it was slow, because right now that delta is currently over 2 seconds.
We will take a quick look at Isaac Umbras about to cross the line, well, not about to cross the line, but coming around the final few corners of the track, because he is up by quite a bit. As is Reska Kyoso. Reska Kyoso set a best lap time of 141.915, so a first driver in the 41s. Let's see if Isaac Umbras is able to match him on that. Ace of the Empire just set a best lap time of 42.2. Isaac Umbras might be able to jump her. Nope, that's going to be a 42.3. Now Lucas Lichten. Sorry, actually. Let's go back to Solaire Drewcock, who's about to cross the line now. Gets ahead of Kaito Nasa with a 145.322, so not enough to jump Zul Akihara or DJ Overdrive, but still an improvement nonetheless as she goes off track. A little bit of an excursion, but probably just letting everybody else by.
Yeah, let's refresh the tires, refresh the fuel, go in front of the go.
Lucas Lichten has the car of Ryuma Tateyama up in front. Oh my gosh, they both hit the curve at Cheetah. Everybody just playing chicken with it, as you said, trying to get as close as possible.
Yeah, but the fact that we're seeing such high caliber drivers falling victim to it as well really shows that if you get that corner wrong, there is no shame in it, because it really has happened to the best of us now, even just today.
Yeah, I mean, in order to be the best, you gotta push the limits.
That's true. That's very true.
Kirihara here trying to improve on his lap with a 42.817, 9/10 off of the pole sitter Ryosuke Kiyoso. Kirihara has been able to show some good pace, but hasn't been able to capitalize it on the end in races. We'll see if today, in this finale, will be the time that he, actually hits the curb at Cheetah as well, so a lot of drivers falling victim to it.
Although I'm starting to worry we're going to get accusations of commentators cursing drivers now, with the amount we've seen on good laps who've lost it on Cheetah now.
Oh, yeah.
But, hey, we're just trying to do our jobs.
Ace of the Empire improves by just a bit, but the bigger improvement is going to be Isaac Arbus. He is probably going to, he jumps Ace of the Empire in the standings, goes in second place, just behind Ryosuke Kiyoso with a 142 lap. So that is going to be an improvement, and Ryosuke Kiyoso is going to be pushing a lot more to try and get that gap bigger. Somebody else is going to be trying and push is Psycho Kaiza, actually, coming across the line now. Actually lost a lot of time at the final corner. It's going to be only a tenth of a tenth of improvement, 142.552. Take a look back at Lucas Lichten now.
Yeah, Lucas Lichten just wrapping up the lap, currently going around turn 13 now. A lot of apex curb use, a lot of exit curb, very confident acceleration. We've always seen coming up through Cheetah. We're going to nail it this time. That was beautiful. I think that was really good. Flashing the lap car ahead, just trying to make sure this time. I think you got the time, Lucas. I think you're going to be fine. Come around the final corner, the delta looks good. So let's see what the lap time is once across the line. Getting one last little toe. And that is Lucas Lichten up into third with a 142.112.
Ryosuke Kiyoso actually surprising everybody. He was talking about how he's so washed and everything, but on top of the leaderboard at the moment, not so washed.
No, Ryosuke Kiyoso coming in here like it's just riding a bike. Just straight back to it.
Isaac Armbrust also, Isaac Armbrust trying to improve on his lap time. About to come up through Cheetah now. Let's see how close he gets it. Not super close, but close enough that it's fast. Heading this inside curve here, now to the final corner. This might be enough. No, lost a lot on the delta. He had a little bit mid-corner, but just lost enough time to not improve. That's going to be a 142.047. So just a few hundredths off of his personal best. Ryosuke Kiyoso just in front, starting his flying lap as well. With a few of the top drivers in the Vtracc challenge, all in one picture. That's Ryosuke Kiyoso, Lucas Lichten, and Isaac Armbrust.
Yeah, I hope someone got a photo of that, because they're now just sorting themselves out, putting some space in. Just make sure they've got time to try and get a good lap in, because of course, these three, they are gunning for the top spots. So they want to make sure that they aren't tripping over each other at the very least.
Ryosuke's got some good pace, already improving on his best lap time. Actually, Ace of the Empire, I'm looking at the timing, just in front, has a big improvement. Might join these three as well, might become a four-way battle for the lead here.
Easily, yeah. I guess we'll have to wait and see if it's going to be enough to try and topple first, but nonetheless, it's definitely going to be enough to join the fight if we can just get this banked.
She gained a lot of time out of that hairpin.
She did. We have still got some difficult corners to go, but nonetheless, this is still looking very good. It was an exciting one to watch as well. Always slightly on edge, always slightly pushing it a little bit there. So a little bit too much apex curve there, lost a little bit to just that suspension bouncing that just takes some traction away. Really nice through Cheetah though, but nonetheless a small time loss that Aston Empire is going to be sitting there thinking, I know that time's there, I need to go out, get another lap in, even if this one's going to be an improvement. It's a very comfortable improvement, up into second with a 142.0. Well done, yes sir.
And Isaac Armbrust snatches the pole position away from the alien, a 141.730. That's going to be enough to sit on pole. Lucas Lichten did not improve that last lap, I believe. No, that was just an out lap, so this is going to be his flying lap. We'll see if Lucas Lichten is able to crush everybody's hopes.
Well, he does best, isn't it? I guess we'll see, because this is definitely the most interesting qualifying we've seen in a while, isn't it?
Yeah, it is. We've seen these drivers I mean, we were expecting Lucas Licton to come out here and just dominate from the start of the session, but we've seen some drivers come back, like Rusko Kyoso, and like you said, like he's riding a bike, Sorry, I'm
yeah. No, you're good. You're good. Yeah, absolutely nothing lost there. Just straight back to it. Straight back to business.
I did see Lucas Licton just on the edge there. He had the rear end just stepping out just a tad bit, just enough to get the car rotated. Really on edge here.
I feel like that's a sign that we are seeing the order toppled a little bit, because this is probably the hardest I've seen Lucas Licton push in a qualifying session in a very long time. But it looks like that's what he needs to do. If he wants to take this pole position, then he really is looking for absolutely everything. Little glimpse of the entry up there.
He might have a lot of time to gain on this final sector here. Let's see what he does in Cheetah.
That's true.
Oh, that is nearly perfect. Just enough.
Oh, almost. Yeah. Absolutely nailed the apex, just a little wide on the exit. Come around the final corner now, it looks good. We're just rushing to the finish line to find out exactly what's going to happen.
It's not pole position.
But it is incredibly close to pole position at 141.7, separated by just, will that be 200ths from Isaac Umbros, currently in pole. Oh, this is good.
And I think Lucas Licton has more pace to show here. He's up on his delta again. Pretty early on in the lap, but... ooh, I think that was Ruska Kyoso spinning out. Yes, it is.
Yeah. Resetting the car, going for one last run.
Yeah, only 5 minutes in. This is going to be the last few runs for everybody here.
I think so, yeah. Probably seeing the last of people pitting, because we're reaching the point where it's going to be hard to get the tyres up at temperature for another run.
So far, so good for Lucas.
Yeah, and again, we're just seeing him pushing the limits all the way. You saw him there on the exit of that chicane, all the way up on the exit curve. Just using absolutely every inch the car can use. And hopefully in Cheetah, not more than the car can use, as we saw last lap. I'm sure Lucas Licton is going into this section of the track thinking, not like last time, we can do better.
Entering the final sector now. Well, we've been in the final sector, excuse me. We'll see if he's able to cut Cheetah super close here. Ooh, not as perfect as last time, but he's still gaining a bit of time here. Lost some time out of this exit. It will be enough, I think, to grab pole position. Nonetheless, it's gonna be a 141.602, a 10th ahead of Isaac Umbros. And I don't believe Isaac Umbros is coming out anytime soon.
No, it's going to be close if Isaac Umbros wants another lap, but there is time if he wants one more flying lap. Looking at Aston Empire as well, coming around to the closing stages of the lap, going through Cheetah now. A little intimidated by the apex, just runs wide on the exit again. And that is an invalidated lap as well, unfortunately, which is a shame, because it is quite quick.
Would have been actually it would have been a 42.222, so still on pace, but not enough to improve that we're a valid lap.
Yeah.
Lucas Licton is going even faster though.
Oh my goodness. Of course he is. Lucas Licton out here now with all the answers to any of his doubters.
Perfectly taking that outside curve just enough to not incur any track limits warnings and invalidate his lap, just enough to get as much momentum out of the corner as possible, out of this hairpin. Perfect amount of speed. And just carrying it down to this downhill section here. Hard on the brakes for this right-hander. Coming up now, and then the most treacherous part of the circuit, I believe, Cheetah. I don't think there's a circuit harder on this. I don't think there's a corner harder in the circuit than Cheetah.
I agree. I think even the corporate are going to say because easier. You see Lucas Licton's getting wrong a little bit there. Again, running a little bit wide. Delta's still green, so we'll see what improvement Lucas can bank here. And of course, there's still time for 2 more laps, but yeah. Cheetah definitely looks like unfinished business for Lucas so far in the session, with not a whole lot of time to fix that.
141.557, and he was up, I believe, 0.3 before that mistake in Cheetah, so I believe that's going to be, he's looking for probably 0.2 still. Let's take a look at...
definitely in there. Go on, sorry.
Oh yeah, let's take a look at Psycho Kaiza, who is in 5th position at the moment, trying to improve at here. Both of the technical burst drivers kind of struggling in the back of the pro field here. Psycho Kaiza and Ryoma Kihara within 9/10 of the pole time. It does look like Psycho Kaiza is improving, though, on this lap, about 3/10, and does have another lap to go be a faster.
Yeah, definitely. I know there's a fairly decent gap to Aston Empire in front, about 4.5 tenths, but look at the delta right now. The time is there. It's there in the car. It's there in the driving. It's just a case of putting the lap together. And although there's still time to do it, there isn't much. The pressure is on right now for Psycho Kaiza.
Psycho Kaiza, who was probably one of the biggest highlights last round, who was just out there starting on the slick tires in wet conditions, and then just had the opportunity, if he had more fuel, to just stay out one more lap, just stay out until the rain came. But unfortunately,
it was definitely a heroic drive, but nonetheless, we'll see what Psycho Kaiza can do this time. Currently in the final corner, looking back this lap time. It is a 141.7. That is good enough to put Psycho Kaiza in 3rd, ahead of Aston Empire, ahead of Reska Kyoso.
Good improvement here from Psycho Kaiza, excuse me. Ahead of him, or behind him, I should say, is Lucas Lipton, still trying to improve on his lap time. Didn't improve last time, I believe, had to slow down a bit because of a mistake, so we'll keep an eye on Lucas Lipton. Psycho Kaiza, I believe, has gone off, so that will be the end of his qualifying session. Take a look at his teammate, Ryoma Kirihara.
Yeah, again, just kind of hit the marks, just do the lap according to plan. The delta looks good, it's just a case of getting it done right now. Coming up around the hairpin and accelerating down into mineshaft. Quite a long, flat-out corner, but one where any kind of mistake can easily upset the balance of the car, throw you off. No such problem here for Kirihara, though. Keeps it absolutely on plan.
And I know we haven't talked about the other classes that much this qualifying session, but how about Vu Akihara qualifying ahead of every silver and actually nearly being on pro pace?
Oh yeah, you're right. Oh, I don't know, 2/10 off of the back of the pro field at the moment. We'll see if that changes here as Kirihara approaches the start-finish line and improves down to a 42.112. Still 6th, but yeah, defeats that point I was just about to make. Currently 6-7 tenths between Zu Akihara and the back of pro. Still, fantastic lap time from Akihara.
Aston Empire coming around the final corner now. Might be able to topple even Reska Kyoso, Psycho Kaiza, maybe even get 2nd place here, right in the dying stage of the qualifying. It is 2nd place, a 141.670 for Aston Empire. A great result for qualifying. Ryuma Tateyama, the last car to cross the line in this qualifying session now. About to cross the line, gonna get a 147.537. That's gonna put them 14 overall. So, oh my goodness, that was a great qualifying session. Nearly had an upset there, but Lucas Lipton just proves us wrong. Proves us doubters wrong, I should say.
Yeah, but nonetheless, we're seeing a lot of the natural order that we've seen toppled a little bit here. I think that's got to be Asa's best qualifying this season, right?
I believe it is.
Fantastic.
So before we get underway today, we'll go through the starting lineup, or the starting grid for today's V-Prix in South Africa for the final time this season. As you've seen, starting on pole position, it is Lucas Lipton, who was just dominant until the very end in qualifying. But just behind him, and the very dying stages of qualifying, Ace of the Empire in 2nd place. Then we have Isaac Umbros ahead of Psycho Kaiza. Then Reska Kyoso returning to the grid in 5th. Then Ryoma Kirihara is looking to improve on that position. It might be very vital for his 2nd place hopes in the championship. Zu Akihara, your pole sitter in AM, and in 6th place, overall. Then your pole sitter in silver, Judy Kohai. David Katse, 9th overall. DJ Overdrive, runner-up in AM, starts in 10th. Solo Drew Cox fighting for that championship. Then we have Kaito Nasa Faro Okami, Ryuma Tatsuyama, and I believe iMagic Zane's riding out the field was not able to set a time, so he will have to start from the back of the grid and pick through the AM field here. So here we are, the final race of the season. It's only a formation lap and an hour until we find out the results. I mean, we already know who took the championship this season, obviously in Silver and Pro. But in AM, even though Zul Akihara has had a great qualifying session, he does still need to put it all together in the race proper. Because we've seen drivers who have been really stellar in qualifying, just run into some mishaps in the race proper.
Definitely, it happens to the best of us. Putting together a good race is one of the biggest challenges in racing, because now you don't just have to get one lap right, you have to nail, around here it'll be what, like 26, 25 laps thereabouts, something like that maybe, for the race. And nailing all of those one after another is definitely a challenge.
And especially as an AM class driver, sorry, go ahead.
I was just going to add on as well, although some of these championships are decided, nonetheless, that probably doesn't matter to some of these drivers. Like, Aston Yanpai is one who I imagine isn't that fussed about the actual championship and is more looking for individual race results, so Aston's probably looking at the back of Lucas Lichten's car, wondering what's going to be possible in this race, because I imagine she doesn't care about the championship. If she can walk out of the season with a race win, I think that'll make her feel like a champion anyway, won't it?
Yeah, Ace and the Empire has been really Ace and the Empire has had some misfortunes this season, and if she can really, even if she holds the second position, it'd be a win for her. It'd be almost like the championship, nonetheless, for her, because she can prove that she belongs in the pro class. Something I did want to point out though was that Zul Akihara, even though he's starting ahead of both silver drivers, as an AM driver, I think the biggest challenge, more than anything, is just being consistent. And so I think Zul Akihara, more than anything, just gonna have to prove that he can be consistent as well as fast, because that's probably the biggest challenge once you're starting out in sim racing, and racing in general, is just putting that all together 60 minutes. I mean, 60 minutes doesn't seem like a lot in terms of, like, say, like maybe like a Formula 1 race, but especially when you're just starting out, especially at such a high intensity, it can really just creep up on you.
It really can. Even just putting together a race distance of half this can be quite challenging sometimes. So, yeah, it may not sound that difficult to people who aren't used to doing this kind of thing, but believe me, from the driver's seat, it really is.
So everybody getting double quality here, getting ready for the start of the final round of the Vtracc challenge season. I believe I forget what season this is. I'm so sorry. Oh yes, season 2024, season 2. Here, Lucas Lichten, I believe, Lucas Lichten trying to gain back the championship that he lost from Icer Ambra, and he has done that, but can he end it on a high note with a win, or will somebody else take that glory from him? Will this be a victory lap, or will it be something more sinister? Coming to the final corner now, everybody's slowing down to 70 kilometers an hour, people still warming up their tires, trying to get them to the optimal temperatures and pressures to make sure they have the best chance of getting a good start coming into turn 1. Very, 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 very important place here. But here we go, slowing down to 70 kilometers an hour, waiting for the lights to turn on here. The green lights will come on at any point here. Green flag is out. Lucas Lichten, I think, believes gets a really good start here. But Ace and the Empire is just alongside. Isaac Umbra's falling behind, just trailing behind Reska Kyoso and Psycho Kaiser. Actually, Isaac Umra is diving to the inside of Asa and the Empire and might get that position back. They're just side by side here, but Asa and the Empire just has that little bit of advantage coming into this next corner. Side by side now. And it looks like Asa and the Empire is able to clear Isaac Umbra's, but she still has 2 hungry VTubers behind her that she has to fend off. Meanwhile, Lucas Lichten, ahead of this whole carnage, is able to just make a gap already here.
So off to a rough start for the race, a little difficult exit there, fighting these two, but nonetheless we've sort of held the gap now, and we see Isaac Umbras fighting with returning icon Reska Kyoso. But oh well. Yeah, we're seeing this chase for second really heating up right now, and imagine Aston Empire's probably going to have to reevaluate that target of taking first if she's going to be busy defending second this hard this whole race.
The drivers have not turned on their lights yet via the meatball flag you see there. I believe that was DJ Overdrive has not turned on his lights yet. Probably somebody should let him know about that. Either way, at the head of the field, it is Lucas Lichten, and in silver, it is Dirty Kohai just ahead of David Katse, actually. And what's happened to Zul Akihara, actually? Zul Akihara is really down the order from where he started.
Yeah, definitely one of the...
Oh my gosh, there's contact between the two championship contenders! He's going off wide. I think that was just a bit of a product of just Soleil Drukok going off wide there and losing a bit of control. So it's not really malicious, but nonetheless contact there. That might be a bit of drama, and oh my goodness, the battle is now on.
It really is. Cheetah claims another victim right there, as we see that contact between those two caused by that, but nonetheless, these two now settling their differences directly. Soleil Drukok's going to be running second in AM, and no doubt thinking about how the points difference between third and second is not as big as it is in second and first. So, at the same time as trying to keep Akihara behind, needs to find a way past DJ Overdrive.
Meanwhile, at the head of the pro class, it is going on as Isaac Ummers has dropped a few positions already. Has lost third position to Resko Kyoso and might soon lose it to Sanko Kaise here. The psychopath bringing along his teammate Ryoma Kirihara, and just behind Ryoma Kirihara is the Super Class leader Jun Kohai, who's doing great right now, just sticking to the rear of the Dragon Rider.
Yeah, you can find that rhythm just holding onto the back of the pro cars and just enjoying a little bit of a pace advantage as well to staying in the slipstream. No points advantage, of course, to making an overtake here, so I imagine that's Dirty Kohai just thinking about staying in that tow and just enjoying a little time benefit from it. To see how that comes undone as a pro battle emerges, because we can see how the combo's under a lot of pressure, not that far ahead.
We'll keep a look here on the pro battle here. A bit of a train, in fact. This is super close actually compared to what we've seen in the past. This is all between just you can put these drivers under a blanket here, but at the moment Lucas Lichten once again being the class of the field, but for second place and onwards, it is pretty much anybody's game. In fact, I'm not even sure if Lucas Lichten at this point is going to be dominant, because we've seen the pace that Asa the Empire is able to put on here.
We have, yeah, especially with the immense show in qualifying. I'm sure she can transfer that to the race, and of course, I've said this before, and Lucas Lichten's proved me wrong, but nonetheless, I don't believe in the consistency of that Porsche. I think the pace is going to come and go a little bit from that car, and we'll just have to see how that unfolds as well, see if that plays into Asa's favour.
So this is the battle for the AM class lead. This is pretty much red hot at the moment, red like the number plates. And Soleil Drukok's looking to the inside of DJ Overdrive. DJ Overdrive keeping that corner covered though, is able to just follow on through, and Soleil Drukok has to just follow in behind. Now through this winding left-right corner here. So many different cars. In the top three, these cars couldn't be any more different. Soleil Drukok's looking at the inside. Looks like DJ Overdrive made a bit of a mistake, but Soleil Drukok's is a bit earlier on the brakes, and that allows DJ Overdrive to take back the position on the outside, and that opens the door up for Zul Akihara to get on the inside and make the move for second in the AM class. Side by side, oh, super high speed. They're so close. Zul Akihara not letting any space between these two, trying to pressure Soleil into a mistake, and Zul is able to get past. Not yet, actually. They're still side by side coming into Cheetah, who's going to back down. Looks like Soleil Drukok has to file right in behind Zul Akihara, and Zul Akihara can look to getting past DJ Overdrive here and try and at least clinch his AM title here.
Definitely an exciting chase for that position there as well. Compliments to both drivers for their ability to battle through some awkward corners there as well. There were a few points where you could not fit a piece of paper between those two cars, but nonetheless, perfectly clean textbook racing. Kind of thing you'd expect to see from pros, and we see our amps doing it. Well done.
This goes to show how much these amps have improved the racing and been great. These VTubers are great, and it looks like, oh my goodness, Psycho Kaizo's gone off. What's happened here? Oh, I think it just went a bit wide and got loose on the grass. Thankfully, it's not hit the inside wall, and both Dirty Kohai and Ryoma Kirihara take evasive action. Thankfully, they did not get into into, they did not get into Psycho Kaiser, so all of them could continue on with no damage. But Psycho Kaiser has a lot of ground to make up, having to get past both David Kansei and Dirty Kohai, just to get back to the pro class battle here.
Yeah, it's that temptation to try and carry a little extra speed for a corner where it doesn't really work. Back with Zula Kihara right now as well, still behind DJ Overdrive, who I can't really tell what the pace difference is here. I imagine that these two are running faster than DJ Overdrive, but finding our way around definitely is a different challenge to just driving faster. And right now this is playing into Solel Durcox's advantage. A little bit of a defensive move there.
I think DJ Overdrive just wasn't expecting Zul to close up so quickly.
It did look a little bit surprised, didn't it? See, big mistake there for Akihara as well through Cheetah, while DJ Overdrive keeps it clean. And suddenly Solel Durcox is back in that mirror, looking quite big in it.
The Sheep Mom trying to claw back as many points as possible. Crossing the line now to start their 4th lap of the race. Still trailing behind DJ Overdrive, making his return to the series after a little bit of a hiatus, and doing great.
Yeah, very confidently holding first right now in Am. Very, very well defending this position. And it definitely changes the game for these two as well, who are currently fighting for the championship, because of course if one of them gets past DJ Overdrive, then I'm feeling quite confident with that little buffer in between, especially knowing how well DJ Overdrive is going to defend that position.
Zula is still trying to find a way past that Lexus, but nothing's working at the moment. Had a bit of an opportunity to dive in the inside there, as I believe Isaac Gumbers is off. Isaac Gumbers is off, and he has to wait. He's stuck in traffic. We gotta see what happened here. Oh, just clipped the grass on the outside and just got spun around in a really awkward spot as well. Ryuma Kirihara had to take evasive action again. It's not so close.
Yeah. See that Am lead battle coming through as well there. Have to wait for that in that corner, which is, there's no maneuvering space. You can't really see what you're doing, it's such an awkward one to recover from.
A little bit of Dirty Kohai has actually gotten past Ryuma Kirihara, so he is now 4th overall. We'll get back to the AM class battle for the lead. Zula Kihara outbreaks DJ Overdrive coming in this corner, but DJ Overdrive has the switchback, not able to get side by side once again though. And Zula Kihara can just sigh a breath of relief, and he's going to try and pull a bit of a gap using DJ Overdrive as a bit of a buffer. As Solel Durcox is probably trying to... Solel Durcox, excuse me, now has to try and push to get past DJ Overdrive and catch up to Zul.
Yeah, definitely. I think the buffer might not be the right word for it, because I think in this position, Zula Kihara is looking to use DJ Overdrive as a shield more than anything. Just please keep Solel Durcox behind you. Please give me the space. And I'm sure DJ Overdrive completely agrees with that plan, but I guess we'll just have to wait and see how it all plays out.
Meanwhile, at the back of the pro field, not the back of the pro field, but at around 7th position overall, I should say, just behind the silver class driver of David Akatse, so Psycho Kaiser is trying to get around. He's going to the inside. We'll get that move done, just about. There we go. Easily done there. Pretty respectful and clean from both drivers. David Katse just falling back in line, trying not to lose as much time as possible, as now he tries to catch up to his teammate, once again, Ryuma Kirihara. Back at the head of the field, Lucas Lichten is pulling about of a 3-second gap to Ace of the Nyanpire. Then it's Reska Kyoso, Dirty Kohai with a breakout result here.
There's definitely another story emerging in the best lap times right now. Probably won't be shocked to hear that the best lap time is currently held by Lucas Lichten at 42.0, but Reska Kyoso is only 300ths behind that, and Aston Empire only 1/10 behind that. So despite those gaps, these drivers are running quite similar pace, and so...
Well, right as you say that, Lucas Lichten is just at the best lap of the race with a 1:41.830. So he's definitely on a campaign to try and prove you wrong here.
Yeah, clearly. Is it me? Am I the Lucas Lichten doubter today? I think I am. What's happened?
I think we just wanted an interesting race, but Lucas Lichten is just too good to let that happen.
This is the problem. Obviously, slight mistake there in Sunset, but never mind.
Actually, Isometric Zanes had to slow down a little bit. Let's see what happened here. I think Isometric Zanes must just be slow. Actually, no. Went over the curb at Cheetah and let Kaito Nasa by.
Such an easy mistake to make. We're going to see a lot of those.
Looks like Reska Kyoso that's a battle brewing now between Reska Kyoso and Ace of the Empire. So two Lamborghinis battling it out here for second position, for second best.
Are those the exact same? Yes, they are. Both Lamborghini Huracan GT3 Evo 2, so identical machinery. Maybe a slight difference in setup, but nonetheless, nice equal battle heating up here for second place going on. Aston Empire under pressure with Reska Kyoso less than a second behind, tucked into that toe pretty much the entire lap right now. Going off through Cheetah. We see a little bit of hesitation, slight mistake there from Reska Kyoso going into Cheetah unsighted from having to follow Aston Empire for it, but nonetheless keeps it clean and keeps the pressure on, keeps that yellow Lamborghini looking nice and big in Asa's rearview mirror.
Not common to see a shark being hunted, but here it is, an alien hunting a shark here, as Reska Kyoso looked like he was better under braking, but I think maybe actually outbroke himself there and lost a bit of time to Asa. Asa, who broke earlier, but was able to get the car rotated there. Oh, Asa! Oh my gosh, save it! No! Oh no!
No. Awkwardly trying to turn the car around here as well. See what happened. Coming up, of course, through this early sector 1.
Oh my goodness.
Rear end just slides out there in the middle of the corner, and it finds its way into the barrier there. Oh, that's so sad to see, because that was all going so well.
That is heartbreaking for Asa. Such a great race, just unfortunately just running into mishaps. But that is, I think it is a sign that you're still developing, but I mean, you don't get better by not making mistakes. I mean, it's still a way to learn. And it's a tough way to learn, but I mean...
Well, it's a lesson you do need to learn. We were talking about this during the formation lap as well, about the challenge of just putting together a nice clean string of 20-something laps for the sake of the race for an hour, for a whole hour. It's probably one of the most difficult things about this, and yeah, we've just seen how that could come undone there. So you're right, it's definitely one of the things to learn. One of the harder things to learn, arguably, but... That's racing sometimes, isn't it?
Another driver who's having to make their recovery is Isaac Gumbers trying to get past some two AM drivers of DJ Overdrive and soon Zul Akihara. So, thankfully, in Asa's case, she did not have as much of an awkward spot to spin out as Isaac did. He had to wait quite a bit.
He did. He got a great view of the cars going past her, who was going to have to yield the position to. But nonetheless, we see him making progress here in the final corner. Slight lunge. Contact there as well with DJ Overdrive, but it doesn't look too bad. Both drivers look pretty comfortable. We're not even seeing flashing lights from DJ Overdrive, so it can't have been that bad.
Maybe just a little bit of a judgment error from Isaac Gumbers. Nevertheless, everything is fine. Both drivers are pointed forwards and able to continue. Meanwhile, Ryoma Kirihara trying to get that overall podium back from Third-G Kohai.
Which is really hard now, isn't it? We see Kirihara running a little bit too far over the apex curve, a little bit too far over the exit curve. There's going to be some pace loss there. Nonetheless, finding a good line again for the chicane. Such an important chicane to get right. That blind hairpin that we've been talking about being so difficult as well. You can't even see the braking point, it's too late. I think Kirihara might have braking a little bit late, having to go to the outside. Not for a move. That looked like an emergency. Oh god, don't crash.
Yeah.
There from Dirty Kohai as well. Not sure what that's about.
I think Dirty Kohai is just trying to signal that hey, that's not cool.
I've never seen that signal before, but fair enough. Coming up through Cheetah as well. Kirihara playing it very safe through there, but Dirty Kohai taking his chances a little bit more.
We didn't see actually that last lap. Lucas Lichten made a bit of a big mistake there. It's 2 seconds off of his usual pace. Actually, three seconds off from usual pace, and that might explain why he's lost a bit of that gap to Reska Kyoso.
Yeah, that would do it.
So definitely something to keep an eye on.
Yeah, definitely. And on the subject of mistakes as well, I'm wondering if we're going to see a running theme as well through Cheetah. We've seen a few people now play it quite safe and give the apex a little bit of extra space if they're following someone. It's almost as if they're hanging back to see if the car in front makes a mistake under the pressure and then give themselves space to pounce on it properly rather than being too close to react properly. Really curious to see if that becomes a running theme in this race.
Is Ram
Such a
up?
plan right now. Go on, sorry.
No, I was just gonna say, just commenting. Oh, ooh, okay. Well, that was a bit of a hard stopper there. I thought I saw Turikohai disconnect. Might be on my end, but that was scary. Oh no, a solo Dropox has gone off as well.
Yeah.
Oh,
Oh, again, just trying to carry a little bit too much speed there and just finding a way to the grass. Just about keeps on track, but that's still going to cost a lot of time. It's a weird looking car that as well. The headlights don't look like they're on that Mustang, despite the fact that they clearly are.
Currently battling for 5th position. Actually, yes, it is 5th position in the pro class between Isaac Armbuz and Ace and the Empire. Oh my goodness! Oh no 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 no! Oh, that's a huge accident.
It is coming together between Aston Empire and Isaac Umbris there. Sends Isaac all the way into the wall.
Let's see what happened here.
They're going side by side through mine shaft. Just trying to get over to the left a little bit early. I think it's just one of those awkward things of trying to set up for a good line whilst in someone's blind spot.
Oh my goodness, I'm not sure Isaac's gonna be pretty. I'm sure Isaac's not gonna be happy with that because that was a bit of a misjudgment from Asa there.
It really was. You're absolutely right. I'm kind of curious about any other damage on that Lambo as well for Aston Empire from the contact so early with the wall, but hard to say.
Yeah, personally, at least from my perspective, that was a bit of a misjudgment. I think, yeah, as you said, she was probably trying to set up for that right-hander, but just did not expect to see Isaac Umbris close up so quickly.
Or was expecting Isaac Umbris to do the same thing slightly earlier than he actually did.
The thing is that Isaac Umbris didn't have much track to give.
No, definitely not.
I'm not trying to argue anything. It's just I'm just trying to think from a perspective from them, because I'm not trying to be super critical. I'm just.
I completely agree. I think these things are interesting to talk about, but yeah, it can be quite difficult to unpack from here, especially because we're not mind readers. So
yeah,
really makes things like that very difficult to work out. So I do not envy our stewards who have to unpack these things later. Speaking of, thank you very much to our stewards who volunteer their time to go through incidents after the race as well.
Yes, thank you so much to our stewards, who sometimes are the point of contention with some drivers, but nonetheless they are very, very vital to keeping the racing clean.
They really are. It's so true. Very quick for Aston Empire for Cheetah there as well. Close that gap a lot coming into the final corner, but then just runs wide and loses it there, running over all of the marbles, taking them to the tyre. Should be clean by turn 1, but nonetheless has an advantage that just slipped away a little bit.
Look, Isaac Armbus is in the pits now, taking that chance to pit early and get maybe the damage fixed, and also get that mandatory stop out of the way.
One of the nice things about that mandatory stop is it does limit the damage of an incident like that. If you just get the car back and repaired, then because you were going to make a pit stop anyway, it really does limit damage to your race and means it's a little bit more you can hold on to and fight for afterwards as well.
Looks like there is a yellow flag somewhere on the circuit. I believe that is Ruma Tateyama at just after Cheetah. So we won't focus on that in a moment, but Cheetah is just a very difficult corner to get right for these VTubers.
Well, for anyone. I think I can imagine exactly what's happened there. We see Aston Empire getting very close, a little bit sideways as well out of that chicane there in that dirty air. Lose a little bit of that gap, but I'm sure she'll pull it back in a second. Very good on the brakes there, closes that gap a lot in the hairpin. And then just does her best to try and get a clean exit. Slightly dirty air, of course, but nonetheless, it looks good coming up into the mine shaft now.
It just goes from bad to worse for Isaac Umbris. A stop go 30 for speeding in the pits.
Oh no.
And he will retire from the race from that point on, probably out of frustration, not sure what, but just a very frustrating race. He had to really perform to get ahead of Ryo Kihara in the standings. Today, Zula Kihara Messes up. Cheetah gets on the curb and flies up high, allowing Asa and the Empire to get on past. But it's going back to what I said before, it's just a very frustrating day for Isaac Armpus, unfortunately for him.
Yeah, that really did come undone in a fairly big way to begin with, but then even bigger in the last 5 minutes as well. Nonetheless, I'm sure we'll see him back next season, ready to show us exactly what he can do.
Isaac Armpus is probably one of the most improved drivers throughout the course of the season. Has gotten pretty much showed that he's able to stick with the pros here. Just a few, just unlucky from him today.
It really is. That challenge again of just putting together a good race run, isn't it? That, like we were talking about before. This is exactly one of the things that can undo it.
And also, Kiyomi, I know that feel. Kiyomi is just a pain in the ass to get right. Sorry, excuse my French.
I mean, you're right though. This is a very difficult track. I mean, I think we're in agreement that Cheetah alone is one of the probably the most difficult corner in this game. But this track's probably got like 2 or 3 more top 10 difficult corners in this game as well. It's a very difficult, very technical track.
Got a little bit of battle brewing here for, I believe that is 4th in the M class between Kaito Nasa and Faro Okami. Not quite podium position, but 4th still good. Kaito Nasa trying to get a bit of hold on that Audi R8. A very interesting choice. If you recall.
Go on, sorry.
Actually, before I go on, looks like another Cheetah's claimed another victim. This time it's David Katse. Nearly got it. Oh, and just hit the tire barrier.
Oh, that one hurts, especially because I think we all know that pain as well. That particular pain. No one has driven this track without having that accident.
Solid drop. Go ahead, sorry.
Back to Kaito Nasa now as well. Trying to hunt down Faro Okami and that Audi R8 again. I do love when people pick a different car. When someone's got the only one of a car in the field, I would love to see that. We see Faro Okami going into the pits now as well for the mandatory pit stop. So that will be fuel and fresh tyres. A little bit of a tail kick there as well through that very tight left-hand corner into the pit lane.
Pretty difficult to get right if you're not too used to this pit lane entrance.
Well, especially because if you've got your traction control set right for the rest of the track, then when you're in first gear in such a tight corner, it really isn't going to kick in enough anywhere near as much as you're hoping it will, or as much as you're used to. So yeah, very easy for that to happen. Hopefully it's not a sign that the speeding penalty on the way as well. Fingers crossed.
I do believe that was past. I think that was past the pit entry board, so I think it's fine. It's just a bit of a scare.
Yeah.
Yeah, I do believe the pit entry is, like, in the middle of the corner somewhere. It's very annoying, for sure.
It is. Mostly just because it's so slow and so tight. Like, I don't think you can even take that corner at the pit speed limit. It's that tight.
Bit of formation flying at the moment for Technoburst Racing between Seko Kaiza and Ryoma Kirihara. Seko Kaiza, actually they are matching each other on pace. So, they're keeping the gap steady, but this might turn into a podium battle for the last step on the podium and in closing stages of the race. But so far, it's still good for Technoburst Racing. And so far, so good for Ryoma Kirihara for keeping second safe in the championship standings.
Definitely. Got me wondering as well what the game plan will be here for Technoburst Racing. Because there's not a whole lot of gaps around them. I don't know how much they're anticipating movement in the pit stops. No one up this end of the field has taken a pit stop yet, so there's no mystery there just yet. At what point do these two drivers decide to stop running in formation and start just having some fun for themselves?
You don't want to create too much tension between teammates, though, is the thing. Because that could be very, very awkward if you do get into each other and you let somebody else by. I do believe, though, that Ace of the Empire is a bit far behind, but nonetheless, not a very good thing to happen, at least for team morale purposes.
Definitely.
They both make their way through Cheetah, both clean. Yes, clean, very much so. Something else I do want to point out is Dirty. Oh, no, don't talk. Okay, thankfully you didn't commentate or curse him. Oh my goodness, that was so close. I'm so sorry, Dirty Kohai. I was about to say he was having a great race so far.
Oh yeah, definitely. Too great to be having a dramatic moment like that. Oh my goodness.
Oh my gosh.
Definitely clipping that one though. Especially now that we know no harm done.
Oh my gosh, I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry, Dirty Kohai.
Well, on the bright side, Dirty Kohai lives. He's still driving. We're all good. No harm, no foul, right?
just eight lives left for the Snow Leopard. Meanwhile, DJ Overdrive is into the pits. Second place in Am, taking his mandatory stop. A good performance from him as well. Was holding off the lead from Sulakihara, but Sulakihara now up in front, comfortably in the lead. Just needs to keep it clean from here on out.
Sulakihara no doubt wondering now about how much fuel's left in that car. How much can he go for that undercut as well? Just try and keep the car out. Oh no, wait, sorry. Sulakihara was already ahead of DJ Overdrive, wasn't he?
Yes.
Yes, sorry, my mistake.
And Sulakihara does have a pretty big gap. See, I believe about over a 30-second gap, I want to say, to Vtracc, so it's pretty comfortable ahead of his championship rival, so just can try to manage the pace right now and try to see if he can make it to the end with no errors, but that is easier said than done.
Especially here. Especially with Cheetah right there. Our race leaders having navigated it 16 times already, and we're not even at the halfway point just yet.
Once again, just checking in, making sure that everything is in order. Lucas Lichten still at the head of the field. Nothing has changed there. Doing some great pace, 42.022 last time around. Vriska Kyoso behind in second place. You see the lap car of DJ Overdrive, who just took his mandatory stop. Then Ryoma Kirihara. Then it's Psycho Kaza, his teammate, not too far behind. Then Dirty Kohai, as I said before, doing a great job holding down that Superclass lead. He did say that he was gonna have his participation reward because he didn't believe that any other Silver drivers were going to participate in the race. But I mean, even aside from that, I mean, even just ignoring that, like even under that circumstance, still a great result so far from him. It's a great race from him. Asa and the Empire in 5th in the pro class. Then it's against Sulakihara in the lead. David Katse after having that big scare, and Cheetah is in 8th and 2nd in silver. Vtracc holding down 2nd in Am, but has yet to pit. Then Kaito Nasa, the final driver, yet to come in and take their mandatory stop, 10th and on the podium, but only at the moment. DJ Overdrive, the first of the cars to take their mandatory stop. Everybody in the M class is actually taking their stop. I know that Isaac Umbras did take his mandatory stop, but had to but retired. So technically, it is only the AM drivers that have taken their mandatory stop.
It is. So much strategy we've not seen unfold yet. We're at the halfway point now as well. Ryoma Kirihara, our first pro class pit stop going on right now as well. So we're starting to see pit strategy starting to emerge now. Everyone seemingly have waited until the halfway point in the race to actually do it. So very curious to see how this unfolds. Probably a sign that it's just not that urgent for these drivers as well, isn't it?
Yeah, tire probably not being too much of an issue here, and that they could just keep it for quite a while. Ace of the Empire, another driver coming into the pits now, so we're starting to come into that window.
Yeah, just getting those mandatory pit stops out of the way. Maybe any damage repair as well if the driver wants it.
At the moment, the gaps are a bit strung out, but that probably could be due to the pit cycles at the moment. It does look like that the pace is slowing down just a tad. Last lap from the fastest lap it was ran so far. That last lap was at 142.767 from your race leader Lucas Lichten. So the race pace has slowed down just a bit. But that could be just due to tire fall off, and that might be a sign to come in.
Yeah, I imagine so. Although I always question it with the Porsche a little bit. I haven't actually heard anything from Lucas Lichten to say that I'm wrong about this, so I'm just going to keep on saying it. But with the fuel tank being on the front axle on that car, fuel weight upsets the balance a lot, or affects the balance a lot on that car. So we could well just be seeing that come undone there a little bit as well. Easily the most difficult car in this field to handle the fuel weight in. See Resto Kyoso coming in as well, behind him Psycho Kaiser as well. More pro pit stops being done.
Let's see if that allowed Dukai to cycle on through. Dukai yet to take his mandatory stop as well. But it'll be nice to at least be as high up as second overall, which still feels pretty nice.
May well be in that car right now thinking, could I take the overall lead here just briefly? Even if it's 3 pit stops. Just briefly. Just to have done it. Because when you're not under serious pressure to get the strategy right, I imagine the temptation's got to be there, doesn't it?
And he would definitely need at least a bit of that positive energy, because the season's been a bit up and down for him. Hasn't been able to get a few consistent races here and there. Had a bit of issues with the game itself, just not being used to ACC, and also just a bit of bad luck as well. Some contact with other drivers. He's had some great pace so far, just unable to really put together. So probably being in a lead, at least for a moment, will definitely help his vibes.
Yeah, cheeky little morale boost right there.
A little bit of a battle starting to form here between Ryoma Kirihara and Psycho Kaiser. They both come out of the pits at the same time. Actually, Psycho Kaiser gets out of the pits right as Ryoma Kirihara is passing by. Psycho Kaiser will probably have a little bit of time to get those tires up to temperature, up to pressures. But it's on now between these teammates. Let's see how much they'll fight for this position. For I believe what will be the final. What will be the final position on the podium? Excuse me, I can't words today.
I imagine so, yeah. I think you're absolutely right. No pit stops in these 2-0. That's it. So these two really do just have to decide between them who's going to get that podium spot.
Few more pit stops coming in now. It's Soleil Drcox and Kaito Nasa, both in the AM class. PG Overdrive will take... Actually, no. Zula Ihara is still well ahead in the AM class lead. 3rd overall, but still has yet to take his mandatory stop.
Maybe another one thinking, go on, pit now, just so I can have the overall lead, just for a minute, just for one lap.
That'd be amazing if an AM driver can lead overall, at least for just a lap or so. Even if it's under the circumstances of other drivers pitting. Definitely be a bragging right.
It will, and just to celebrate it a little bit more, I'm sure we'll shout it out nice and excitedly as well when it happens.
Okay, you have my word for that.
Alright, cool.
These two coming up to the lap car of iMetric Zanes. iMetric Zanes most likely will just let them by here. Yes, he will. So both Ryoma Kirihara and Psycho Kaiser will slot through just fine. Coming across another lap.
Leave lots of space as well, make sure it's not dramatic, as we see someone exiting the pits there.
That is... Actually, no, that's Kaito Nasa. Excuse me.
Okay, yes.
Kaito Nasa. Now, in the close side of your picture, it looks like Lucas Lichten will take his pit stop now. So, granted, if Dirty Kohai does not come in for his pit stop, that will give Dirty Kohai the lead.
It will.
Well,
we might be able to make good on our promise. Let's find out.
Well, it was for Zool, not for Dirty Kohai.
Oh, do you not want to do it for Dirty Kohai as well?
Oh, we can do it for Dirty Kohai.
I feel like we might as well. If these drivers are holding out for this, then I feel like we kind of have to. Maybe that's just me.
We'll see if Dirty Kohai comes... Oh yeah, he's going to come in his bits, unfortunately for us. So we'll wait for Zool. But I don't know if Zool will be able to get ahead right before Lucas gets out of the pits. Down on the jacks. Now, maybe. Oh, maybe it might be close enough.
It's definitely going to be close. Looking at this. Lucas Lichten just now moving, but still limited to that 50 km/h.
Oh, he's out of the pits.
Exiting pits. A huge speed difference between these two as Zula Ikehara comes up and
Zula Ikehara!
Zula Ikehara takes the lead into turn 1, passes Lucas Lichten for the lead of the race.
Zula Ikehara in the lead, in control.
That is it, and now just thinking, how do I defend against this? Lucas Lichten, of course, Pro Championship winner right now, frowning up that mirror, but nonetheless, Zula Ikehara wanted to make the most of this lead right now.
I believe it's
like that Porsche in the mirror, no other car quite like it, but certainly anytime anyone sees it, they know it's going fast. Zula Ikehara just trying to keep it clean, hit his marks.
Oh no, Dirty Kohai got a drive-through!
Oh no!
Oh my goodness, that is unfortunate. Thankfully, it's only just a drive-through, not a stop-go 30 like Isaac Umbers has suffered, but that's definitely going to put a dent in his chances to win in Silver Class. I'm not sure how far it's going to put him behind David Katse, because David Katse did have that error into Cheetah, but we're going to have to see. But at the moment, Zula Akihara actually doing a good job holding on to lead here, but we'll unfortunately have to give it back. Maybe not. Still in the here ahead.
2 cars too wide, almost through Mineshaft there. A little bit of running on the grass for Zula Akihara, but nonetheless got the inside line, the advantage there. But now Lucas Lichten gets the move done around the outside. Zula Akihara managing to lead for 90% of the lap. It's a very solid effort that. Zula Akihara into the pits now for that mandatory pit stop. Well, that was fun. I enjoyed that.
Hey, I bet Zula Akihara enjoyed that too.
Oh, I'll bet.
Lucas Lichten, maybe not so much.
Yeah. I'm sure Lucas Lichten will manage. He's doing very well right now. I'm sure he's feeling very comfortable in his position.
Zula Akihara comes in a bit of the final card as he has to take their mandatory stop as David Katse. So, just one more driver to cycle through as both Technoverse drivers cycle past their teammate, or rather their stablemate, I guess. Not exactly the same team, but, you know, still same, yeah, under the same roof. Zula Akihara now, I believe, will be comfortably in the lead of Am either way.
I expect so, yeah. Hold that position over DJ Overdrive.
And it does look like Dirty Kohai will be taking his drive through now. We'll see how far behind he is to David Katse, because David Katse still has to stop for tires and fuel for that mandatory stop. So it might not be over for Dirty Kohai.
Yeah, I'm trying to work out what that time difference is. Looks like it's about 45 seconds, 44 seconds maybe.
It might be enough. Plus, I believe that Dirty Kohai. Well, let me see. Yeah, Dirty Kohai is about a second. His best lap time is a second faster than David Katse. So even if he does end up behind David Katse, he can still get the job done here.
That is true. Of course, any extra entertainment we get, we're not going to complain. It's one of the reasons why I think we're both secretly hoping that we see these 2 Technoburst cars start fighting for what is looking like the last spot on the podium now that all the pit stops are being done.
Oh my gosh! Oh no!
Like a Kaiser.
It's like a Kaiser. Yeah, he does a half spin and will have to. Well, and it's going to lose a lot of time to his teammate. So Ryoma Kirihara now clear ahead of his own teammate. David Katse comes in a bit, so we'll keep an eye on David Katse and Dirty Kohai. Dirty Kohai coming around the hairpin now, about to enter the final sector of the racing circuit. Is behind Zula Akihara overall, but it's not going to matter for points. He might be able to get past David Katse here when he's still in the pits.
It is looking likelier than it, because we're expecting these cars to be standing still for at least 30 seconds. That said, there's going to be a very small turnaround time from here. David Katse is very close to the pit exit.
And Ryoma Kirihara's made a mistake of his own.
Oh, is that turn 4? Is turn 4 claimed another victim? It is. Just ran out onto the grass. Yeah, Temptation claims another victim there, I think.
And it does look like Dirty Kohai is able to get past David Katse, so it's not all over for the Snow Leopard yet. David Katse coming out of the pits now, ahead of his teammate Solar Dwarkhawks in the AM class. So, and then there is DJ Overdrive separating these two. DJ Overdrive doing a good job here, second at AM.
It's been a very respectful performance today for DJ Overdrive. Absolutely solid driving. Especially having to fend off both the 2 championship contenders in AM during this race as well. Not just one of them, both of them. So yeah, it's been a great showing from DJ Overdrive today.
So as there's a bit of a lull in the action here, I want to talk about Zula Akihara. Actually, it's been probably one of the most improved drivers this season so far. Starting here in AM was just dominant. Had a few mistakes, but yeah, putting on some great pace here. Is able, I think, might see him in silver.
I imagine so. I'm sure the league admins are looking at this thinking about people who need to move around a little bit, need to move up and down classes. There's already been adjustments mid-season, but of course, between seasons, they've got carte blanche to change absolutely anything and everything they want to. See a few people getting to celebrate and move up to the next class just to really cement home that they really have grown that much during the season.
And so Vtracc, despite having a few incidents, still holding down a podium finish. It's not going to be enough to take away the championship title from Still Akihara, but still a great showing from Vtracc, who was another driver, I believe, who has improved a lot as well.
Yeah, 100%, completely agree.
Goes off a little bit wide in that corner. We'll let Riska Kyoso by, because Cheetah is a single file corner. I'm not sure I'll ever want to do double file coming into there. I mean, I've tried with Alex Curto and PGT. It was very scary. We made it work, but not something I'd recommend.
Nice and emotional. Yeah.
It's making me want to race, go out and race there, right now. Do you think I could beat Lucas?
How do I put this diplomatically? You know what? I'd love to see it. Like, Lucas is very quick. I think if you lose to Lucas, there's absolutely no shame in it.
Yeah.
But nonetheless, I would love to see what you can do up against Lucas. And you just know I will be there on the sidelines, screaming in very badly pronounced Spanish when you do.
Lucas looked in, and fortunately for him, doesn't have to really contend with anybody else at the moment. Just in his own area code, is able to just keep, and not even and it's not taken away from his performance today, because he's just been absolutely on it. Great pace from him overall, not letting up at any moment. 141 that last lap, 141.9. So, just showing why he's the champion here.
Trying to do the maths right now as well, trying to work out if we're going to see any movements in the pro class standings as well. I am not good at this kind of maths in my head, but nonetheless, Psycho Kaiser feeling very good about today, I'm sure. Probably going to take third away from Isaac Umbris. Can't work out what's going to happen with Ryoma Kirihara. Probably no movement there. Ryoma Kirihara is probably safe in second right now.
It's really unfortunate for Isaac Umbris, who was having a great season up to this point. Just unfortunately unlucky.
It is. But I think at this point, we also all know exactly what Isaac Umbris can do, and we're all very excited to see what he can do next season as well. So, very easily a household name everyone's always happy to see.
It's like Ryoma Kirihara posted his best lap time of the race so far, 142.430. Let's see what this lap is. A little bit slower, so people's trying to get into the groove a bit. As the gaps are a bit strung out, everybody can just try and run their own race at this moment. Just try not to make any mistakes, because a mistake at this point of the race could cost you a ton of time.
It really could. All that hard work up till now coming undone.
And we haven't talked a lot about track limit warnings, but they're possible here.
They are. We haven't seen any penalties yet, but I kind of wish we could see just who's got warnings and who hasn't. I've never really been too scared of them when I'm driving here personally. I'm not sure about you. Usually track limit warnings aren't the reason I'm scared of pushing the track boundaries around here. Usually it's accidents. Because around here track limits do have a way of enforcing themselves.
There is one place where you can get a track limits warning, and it's right there where Ryoma Kirihara just went wide at.
Oh, of course, yeah.
Yeah, that is a corner you could easily get a track limits warning there, and it's very frustrating because it's obviously like, whoa, that's a bit draconian, isn't it, for that corner? But it's something you do need to keep in mind.
Especially because that's another one which would be very good at enforcing its own track limit. Because if you run too wide and run to the grass, then you just lose so much acceleration for that uphill section. Of course, because it's uphill, you just feel that speed loss for longer.
I didn't notice that last time around. Cheetah just was really wide. Maybe trying to avoid Cheetah, trying to just be consistent as possible, or maybe just a mistake. But I would not blame him if he was just trying to be safe and not tempt fate too much with that inside curb. That does seem like a mistake though. 1 minute 43.445.
It does, or I could just be trying to play it safe, as you say, just trying to keep it consistent, because that is the most difficult corner to get consistently here, and probably one of the more dangerous ones to be trying to nail it every lap. But still, we're seeing about a 10th between Kirihara and Kaiser right now. So they're running fairly similar pace. We see a little mistake there from Kirihara as well, but still good, still on track, still on plan.
On board for a little bit with Ryoma Kirihara, just see how things are going.
It looks so comfy in there with that little blue light shining as well. Reminds me of like having RGB lights in your home office or something. It takes a while. Do you ever wish you just have like, rainbow RGBs in your car's cockpit as well? With programs to run different patterns for these onboard shots. But I do. I'd love that.
So with about 12 minutes ago left, 12 minutes left in the race, actually, something I want to point out is David Kansei just set his best lap, personal best, I should say, 1 minute 42.892. So getting faster here, a bit too far from Dirty Kohai, but if he were any closer, I definitely would have given him a little bit of a scare.
Seeing Aston Empire as well, still running strong as well, despite some mistakes early on. She's still just hanging in there and keeping on track, keeping it going. Trying to just eat up that gap in front, try and join that. Well, just try and start a fight for 4th, I suppose. Not a whole lot of time left to do it, but bless her, she's hanging in there, giving it a go. That's what we love to see.
So I suppose at the moment, it is very, I think at the moment, Zola Gahara will easily take the AM title. His first season in Vtracc, and with your first title, very impressive.
Definitely, there's going to be a huge margin in that, so yeah, excellent showing, and I'm sure one of the first candidates for moving up into silver for next season as well.
Basically making her way through these windy, bendy corners here. Let's take a look at Zola Gahara, actually, who just got past the lap car, actually was lapping his own classmate, Metric Zane, so it goes to show how much of a good job he's doing. As well as DJ Overdrive.
Yeah, definitely. I'm really excited for DJ Overdrive today. That second place has been... It's not looked easy to get, but it definitely looks deserved, doesn't it?
It does look like that Derek Ohai does want that 6th position overall back as he looms further in the picture. You see him right there in that BMW for Yukai Racing.
Yeah.
It won't be for points, but I believe that Dirty Kohai will want that position back, especially after getting that drive-through penalty.
I imagine so. Just want to try and make progress and show what he can do. Of course, it also plays into an odd dynamic there as well. If Zola Gahara wants to try and keep this championship lead locked down, how much is Zola Gahara going to want to fight for 6th place? Is he likely just want to let it go, or is he willing to risk that 1st place in AM for the sake of another fight?
He does have a bit. He does have a gap to DJ Overdrive, but if it goes really bad, you can get. I mean, you can get. I mean, even if the gap's big, I mean, you can have a big accident, and it's gonna be enough to have to repair or something. So, I mean,
yeah, we've seen it already with Isaac Umbris as well, that it can happen, and when it happens, it's bad.
Here we go, is getting a bit closer now. You can see him looming into the picture on the hunt for his next prey here. The snow leopard getting ever so close here at Kyalami. I don't believe there's any snow leopards in Africa, but Yeah.
Well, today there is. There's at least one today, isn't there?
That is true. That is true.
Yeah.
Yes, great result from Zulak. However, great result in general from Technoverse Racing this season. Really just came out into their own with some great drivers.
Mm. Yeah, done really good today, and Psycho Kaiser and Kirihara, of course, been the highlights right now, running 3rd and 4th currently in Pro. But yeah, all up and down the field, I think they're in for a good night's celebration.
And I believe that I am impartial to the BMW here because that is a car that I will brag again. Actually, that's Suwakara's best lap of the race. That's 143.415. But yes, I will brag that last Saturday I did win the Tracc GT3 Cup Championship.
You did. Congratulations. Well done.
And yes, it did come to a rocky start here at Kyalami because of the BMW. Doesn't really have a lot of traction here. I mean, there's a lot of stop-start corners here. It's very you know, I've noticed that the BMW just really likes to get so loose here on the next of the corners here, especially here at Kyalami.
Just actually caught a little glimpse there of a little tail slide from Dirty Kohai in the background as well, who I'm sure is agreeing with you right now. That car is looking very animated right now. Especially in those traction zones, like you were describing, lacking traction in the acceleration zones.
Somebody's in dirt. That's far Okami, thankfully. Ooh, watch out. So Kohai is able to get around no problem. And is caught up closer to Zulakihara. Probably needed to avoid Faro Okami. But yeah, you can see, oh, Faro Okami having more issues there. Keeps it pointed straight, keeps going forward here. But it was pretty close there. But yes, that M4, as good as the car as it is, it does have, I mean, it's a little bit of a handful here. I can't imagine how much of a handful the Audi is, especially for an AM driver.
Yeah, that looks exciting, I'm not gonna lie. But, hey, fair play.
It does look like Dirty Guy is getting closer, so he could get back 6th place here overall here. This has a little bit of a wiggle on the exit of the final corner here. Yeah, that does show 144 last lap, but that could just be trying to avoid Faro Okami, who is going wide.
Yeah, I suspect it was, because that looked like a fairly big reaction. We even saw Dirty Kohai flashing the lights there for that one as well, which to me means there was a fair little adjustment to try and avoid that accident, which is always going to cost time. So, yeah, I think that makes sense.
Coming back to about 5 minutes ago, so I want to say maybe like 3 laps for our VTubers here. As Lucas Dixon has just gone around the first corner. 31 laps run so far. And we're still looking at Dirty Kohai, trying to gain back that, trying to gain as much time as possible to your AM class leader. AM class leader, Zulakihara. I haven't said that name enough yet. Zulakihara.
Get some practice in pronouncing it. Might have to get used to saying it a bit more as well, because Dirty Kohai is getting very close now, and I think that is an inevitable attempt to sort the positions as well. Carry that gap 1.5 seconds. And
yes.
It's rapidly shrinking.
Yep, it's definitely as close down as everybody has done their mandatory stop, so the pit window closing is of no issue. So now we are into the final 5 minutes of the race. I believe the final couple of laps here for our VTubers, and the final couple of laps for the season, ending here at Kyalami. Zulakihara and Dirty Kohai. Actually, this is the second corner of the track, but it's kind of the first because I don't really count that little kink on the right on the straightaway at the corner.
No, I don't either, and although it looks like the Wikipedia map does, so I don't know.
Technically, it is technically it is a corner, but I mean, come on.
You barely notice it. That's the thing.
Here you go,
Got a friend. Go on, sorry.
Sturdy guy getting closer, closer, and closer here. That gap shrinking just a little bit, but will Zuagara defend? Oh, that was very sideways. Got caught up on that curve, and it rotated him maybe a bit more than he wanted.
Just a little bit. I don't think Dirty Kohai was one of the earlier pit stoppers, but nonetheless, those tires are looking quite spent right now.
It is also just a matter of the M4 being the M4, just being really sketchy just being a little bit sketchy in some corners. Ask me how I know.
Well, I'll tell you what then, I've got a question for you about the BMW. Where is the fuel tank on that car? Is it behind the driver?
You know what? I do not know. I believe it is, though. I believe it is. It should be.
Because I feel like that would make sense in terms of traction struggles, because you don't have that extra weight in the rear wheels to add traction because, well, there's 3 minutes left in the race. It's going to be low fuel, isn't it? So that combined with the tyre wear, it's going to make those acceleration zones a little bit sketchy. I don't know if you're sitting there thinking that explains a lot or that's nonsense, but I thought I'd ask.
No, it does make sense. I mean, I don't really think about it, where the fuel tank is, and a lot of it, I just drive the car because obviously, so sometimes, because my mind can handle too much. I mean, my mind is like I already struggle with, I struggle a lot with, trying to remember things, so, trying to remember where the fuel tank is on my car is not really a big deal to me when I'm driving.
Okay, that's interesting, because to me, that's one of the first things I want to know about a car when I'm driving it, is where the fuel tank is. Because that way I can work out what the balance is going to do as the fuel burns off. So if I know the fuel tank is towards the back, I know the car will oversteer a little bit more through corners while it's heavy on fuel, but have a bit more traction to actually accelerate.
Yeah, that is a good point. I only think about fuel as just a bit of added weight, so I'm always thinking about how much, how much fuel do I need, how much can I make it, and how much is safe, and how much can I maybe squeeze out a little bit more on the start so I can have as much pace as possible. So I know that. I definitely take into account as weight, but, like, I don't really think about it as in terms of, like, the balance. Like, it does, like, I do feel it, it's just that it's not the first thing I'm thinking about.
No, it makes sense, I get where you're coming from. And I've also had the odd experience of driving a car in R-Factor, where I think the fuel tank was placed by mistake behind the rear axle.
Oh my goodness.
So you would actually see the weight distribution for the entire car move about 3% during a stint. And believe me, you notice that one. That was a car where we worked out that during endurance races it actually was faster to run it light on fuel because it handled the fuel weight so badly that it was actually worth doing extra pit stops. It's a weird solution to that problem, but nonetheless.
It doesn't look like Dirty Gohan is actually gaining enough time. It looks like Zuakihara has been running the same lap times. Lap time was Dirty Gohai's was a 43.3, and Akihara was a 43.4. I mean, technically Kohai is faster, but that's too little of a gap to make any progress here. As we have the final lap of the race now underway, and Lucas Lichten is heading the field at the moment. You can see a few AM drivers about to be lapped here by Lucas Lichten, and Lucas Lichten will serve. This will serve as a victory lap for Lucas Lichten here.
Yeah, well, Lucas Lichten looking very confident and comfortable with a 15-second lead right now to second place. Reska Kyoso currently in second place. Our returning star, not been here for a while, but nonetheless back in that car and showing us it's just like riding a bike. You just don't forget it.
Ooh, excuse me. Actually, no. Dirty Kohai is caught up, so he's gonna have one more lap to do it here.
Oh, this will be exciting. See that difference in the brakes there in the final corner as well. See the gap close a little bit.
So final lap, they will see the white flag. So one more lap for these two to contend against each other. But for now, it is the final lap and the final few corners for Lucas Lichten, who has been dominant so far. Wasn't able to defend his title last season with Iser Ambra being a great contender, but this season he's shown that he is not done yet, and he's not washed, as much as he likes to say it. Great result from Lucas Lichten, and he will clinch the title your Season 2 2024 Vtracc Challenge champion, Lucas Lichten, crossing the line, winning the South African V-Prix, and once again winning the championship in Pro. Meanwhile, we'll take a look at Dirty Kohai and Zul Akihara. Riska Kyoso finishes in second place overall. David Kante finishes second in silver, and DJ Overdrive, a great result, finishes second in the AM class. Dirty Kohai will be these two will be your class winners, but it's going to be a matter of who will finish ahead of who.
It really is. There's no points in it, of course, but nonetheless, I imagine Dirty Kohai's here to make a statement, trying to just make whatever progress that he can. Well, I imagine Zul Akihara might be thinking exactly the same thing, thinking if I can stay ahead of a silver, then that should really explain that this is where I belong next season as well. Still holding the position quite comfortably, coming up into Cheetah now. See Akihara take it nice and confidently, same with Kohai as well. And now final braking zone. We see that gap close up a little bit more. Kohai goes for a very late apex, tries to maximize that exit. It's a huge advantage there in the exit, but it doesn't look like it's enough. 6th place goes to Zul Akihara.
And Zul Akihara,
finishing in 7th.
Dirty Kohai will get his first win in silver, but Zul Akihara will win AM, both in the race and overall in the driver's title. So congratulations to Zul Akihara for a great result this season. A fantastic deserving champion. Soleil Drew Cox finishes in 3rd, and Medru Zanes is going to cross the line to finish in 4th, I believe, actually, yes. Got ahead of Faro Okami. And Faro Okami, oh my goodness, it's a photo finish for 5th!
Goodness.
Now let's take a look at that. Kaito Nasa nearly got 5th away.
Yeah. Almost, it was a good effort. Not quite enough, but what a heroic moment to end the race on.
So, that is it for this season. Congratulations to all of our race winners and our champions, especially to our champions in Pro, Silver, and AM. Lucas Lichten, once again, taking the title, and will return next season, hopefully, with the #1 plate. Jordan Brunch, who was not here for the race, but fortunately already had a title locked up for silver. He will win in silver, and then your winner in AM, Zul Akihara. So that'll do it for today's race, and I'm sorry to say, but this is going to be this was my last race broadcasting Vtracc challenge. It's been amazing broadcasting with April and everybody else. April, Song, and oh my gosh, I'm forgetting. Oh no, Ivano Shensoi as well. Thank you so much, April, for coming along with me.
Hey, thank you for having me, and you know what? Thank you as well from all of us at Tracc for all your time broadcasting Vtracc. It's been an absolute joy to have you. You've been absolutely fantastic, and we are going to miss you. Best of luck with everything.
Thank you. I'm not dead. I'm not.
Okay,
I'm not
all right.
going away.
Oh, but the microphone's on. I've got to play it up a little bit. Come on.
Okay.
Make it a little bit more dramatic, right?
I'm just kidding. I'm just kidding. Okay, that was a bit mean from me.
No, it's all good. It's all good. I mean, you were talking about potentially driving in Vtracc next season, right? How likely do you think that is?
Oh, I don't know. I'm gonna have to think about it. I'm really gonna have to think about it. But yes, in terms of broadcasting, this was my last race broadcasting and commentating. Oh, I don't know about commentating. I might return only as a commentating role. Maybe if somebody does need me, maybe only as a color commentator or just analyzing stuff. But oh my goodness, it's been a lot of fun covering these past few seasons. I believe started out. Thank you to June Raven Moon, who started commentating with me. Thank you to Ivano Chensoi. Thank you to April, who I've been commentating alongside you for quite a while, and thank you to Song, who's been there as well. Been through, I believe, 4 seasons now.
It's been a long journey, but it's been a good journey.
And we've seen plenty of champions. We've seen actually 5 seasons, because I believe I've seen Yukari Kagurizaka, I've seen Lucas Lichten take a title, I've seen Icer Ambra take a title, and once again, and then Lucas Lichten getting back his title once again in the final season of them broadcasting. So, you know, a great way to cap it off. And just, as always, it's just been so much fun. And yeah, and I wish everybody the best of luck for broadcasting, because sometimes commentating can be hard.
It can be, but hey, we'll figure it out. It's all fun. We all do this because this is fun anyway. So yeah, it's been good.
Yes. Thank you everybody for watching, and thank you for following Vtracc Challenge for the past few seasons. And congratulations once again to our champions Lucas Lichten, Jordan Brunch, and Zol Akihara. Of course, that is provisional at the moment, but I believe that is very likely that Pro and Silver will be locked up. And congratulations to our winners today, in the race at least. And yes, thank you so much. I do believe that tomorrow will be the V2.4H at Snetterton. I might be driving in there. I might not. I've yet to decide. I feel like I'm a little bit better, in better spirits to drive. But yes, if that race does get broadcasted, it will be broadcast here again. I believe 8 o'clock my time, or 8:30 my time, Pacific time. I don't know about European time. And then we do have a few off-season races until we get to the next Vtracc Challenge and Track GT3 seasons. But until then, thank you so much. It's been real, and I will see you, and I'll see you on the racetrack. So goodbye for now. So well, goodbye actually. I guess this is actually goodbye for me broadcasting. So it is. So it is. I can't say goodbye, but I don't want to say goodbye. So I'll just say goodbye for now. So yeah, see everybody later.